when you finally set out to use Excel to analyze your data with, you have to make sure that the data is what we call normalized. In other words, it's laid out in such a way that Excel can recognize it and allow you to perform different, features and tools too. This example that you're looking at right now is bad data. It's not bad as far as the accuracy of it goes, but as you can see here, we have a number of blank columns in here, a lot of blank rows. We have our field names on multiple rows, and it just isn't going to work out very well. So we have to get this all straightened out. What we have to do is get this so it ends up looking like that. All right, that's what we want. And the way it is right now, this is not going to work very well. It's not going to play nice with, I don't think any of the features really. Maybe one I can't think of, but it's just not a real good layout. You need to have it kind of packed together like that, kind of like what we saw in the last video. So I'm going to take on a little bit of a tour here, showing you some of the ways that we can kind of fix this up and troubleshoot it to a point where it ends up looking like that. All right. So let's first of all kind of focus on our labels along the top here. We need to get these all on one row. Okay. So and the reason why this might happen is, if you can imagine, if you're exporting data out from your accounting system or your database, outside database or whatever it happens to be, there's a big difference between exporting out your data as like a report versus exporting out as like raw data. And if it's the former, where it's exported almost like a report, all the spacing that you'd have in a report, if you can imagine, you've got the header and the footer, and you got space all over, white space to make it stand out so you can read it well. That translates into blank columns, blank rows, blank cells, things like that. And you really need to kind of fix that up. You have to get it what we call normalized. And that's what we're going to do here. So this first one here, this is merged. Okay, so it's actually taking up two cells. In other words, two cells have been merged, and that's what's happening. So what you can do is, over in the Home tab, you can actually click on where it says merge. So while you're on it, click on the merge and center, and that will kind of demerge it. All right. And then at that point, if we decide that we want to put everything maybe on the second row, because it looks like most of it's on the second row, so we'll just kind of go with that. We then want to get this item down to that second row. And the way we do that, we would just go ahead, get the little crosshair, drag it down like that, and you've got that. Over here, we have company and we have parent company. So what we can pretty much do here, I think it'd be the easiest, is just delete parent. Just hit your delete key on that, and then go over here and just kind of retype parent company. By the time you get in there and try to edit it, it's like you might as well just type it. So you got that. That's good. Now a little bit further down the road here, we have column I, which is the zone field, Z-O-N-E. And you can see that the text is like sideways. It's like, oh my God, what are we going to do with that? So we click onto it, all right? And in the Home tab, over here, you've got something here called the orientation. Now when you click onto that, there's a number of different orientations that you can originally, put your data as, your label as, or your numbers, make them read like that. Now you'll notice that one that says rotate text up looks like that one's activated. If we just kind of point to that and click it, it kind of turns it off and it goes back to just being flat, which is more of the default. That takes care of that part. Okay, so that's pretty easy to do. Now the other thing is, how about these blank columns, right? So let's go ahead first of all and do a right click on column B, and we can then just hit delete. That takes care of that one. We go over to column D. That one was kind of hiding almost. We do a right click on that one, hit delete, and the same thing with column F. Right click that one and delete that. All right. And I think, yeah, it looks like that was the last one. Okay. So that takes care of that part. Now, the other thing we have to worry about are the blank rows. And we've got quite a few of them. And I don't really feel like having to go to each one of them and have to right-click it like it did the columns here. So what we'll do is we're going to select the entire worksheet here. And we do that using the Select All button here on the corner here. Looks like a little triangle. You click onto that. Everything gets selected. And then what we're going to do is utilize one of our data tools. So I'll click up there. And you'll see over here, there's an item over here called Remove Duplicates. Now, depending on your version, depending on your screen size and all that, you're either going to get this as an icon only like you see on mine. You might get it where it'll have actually the text next to it saying what it is. But, you know, if you look at it closely, it kind of looks like it's deleting something there, right? So in this case, it removes duplicates. Now, you might say, well, what does that have to do with blank rows? Well, just as having two or more rows that have the same thing on each of those fields, so in other words, we've got duplicate rows, well, even though they might have text in them, that's fine, that's what we're used to. But when they don't have text in them, they're empty, two or more of them are still considered to be duplicates, believe it or not. So we can actually use this tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on to the Remove Duplicates. A little dialog box will pop up. And it will, in essence, say if it finds the same thing in all those columns on two or more rows, then it considers that to be a duplicate situation, and it will remove at least one of them. So if you have, let's say, 20 that are exactly the same, it'll remove 19 of them. And it's about as easy as it goes. So, or as simple as it goes. So what we're going to do here then is, the only thing you really have to do is just go over here and you just hit OK. All right? And that will then get rid of all the duplicates. Now, you might notice what it did. Got rid of 1,500 blank rows and left us with 71 unique ones that are not duplicates. Now, you might say, well, Chip, how come it's still left row 1 there? Well, if you think about it, if let's say you had 200, well, I forgot what the number was, let's say you had 247 blank rows, that means you've got 247 duplicates. If it gets rid of the duplicates, it's not going to get rid of all 247, it'll get rid of the 246, you know, the latter, and leaves you with the first one. Well, that's what you have here. No big deal. You just go to row 1, you do a right click there, you hit delete, all hunky-dory. All right. If you need to, if it really bothers you with the border not being there, a real easy way to get that border over here is go to this one here that has the border already. You go to your Home tab, go over here to your Format Painter, and click on to A1. And there you go. And what it does is it does everything, it takes all the formatting of B1 and applies that to A1. So that's pretty good. So now what you have here is a perfect database list in that it's been normalized. And now we can start using any of the Excel tools and features, the data tools and features, to start getting some information out of this. So thank you for watching, and take care.